Why are sponges sold wet? Have you ever bought a pack of sponges and reached in and been like, this is really gross. Why are these sponges wet?
I made this beautifully and then I inhaled at the wrong time and choked myself. Right. Not all sponges, as a lot of you will know, are sold wet because there are commonly two sorts of sponges. The ones that he is talking about are made of cellulose, which is a form of wood pulp. And they absorb water into the fibre that they are made of, and they are biodegradable. And so if you finish with one, you can put it on your compost heap and it will rot away. The ones that I think people, certainly in the UK, are more familiar with are the yellow plastic ones with the green scratchy things. And they are not sold wet because they're made of plastic. The fibre of which they are made, being plastic, does not absorb water. They contain water within the body of the sponge, which is a slightly different thing, as hopefully you can appreciate. Now, that does mean that they are both useful for different things. If you are trying to dry things, sponge up water, you will end up with a better result with a cellulose sponge. It probably won't contain as much water because they are denser. But when you're trying to get water off of, a damp thing, wring out a cellulose sponge and it will do a better job of drying it. A plastic sponge will tend to smear it around a bit. The other thing with plastic sponges is you cannot use these with chlorine bleach. They will disintegrate very, very quickly. But you can use chlorine bleach with a cellulose sponge. Most people, I think, like I said, in the UK, I don't know what happens abroad, but in the UK, most people will use the little plastic ones with the green to do their washing up. And the cellulose ones are slightly more expensive and I think also get used for washing up. But like I said, they do have different uses because they're made of different materials. And if you understand what the difference is, you can buy, a couple of each. And also, let's be honest, if you don't want to create plastic waste, you buy a cellulose sponge, and then when you're done with it, it goes in your compost heap. So there you go.